Ahoy there, aspiring streamers and future professionals. Thank you. This is Captain Morgan. I'll be your guide, and welcome to Captain's Quarters, where I'm going to try and find the secrets of professional streaming. What I'd like to talk to you about is 3 categories. First category is all the kind of cool things that you can kind of dig into before you go live. And then the second category will be all the things you can look at and see while you're live. And of course, ending on the third category is all things you can do after you've gone live. You can kind of go check your stream. I'm gonna go ahead and let's just dive right into it. I wanna put the links below so you guys can go there, or if you don't want to, just follow me and I'll show you, okay? First things first, what we're gonna wanna look at is broadcasting guidelines. I'm just going to read it to you real quick. It says, our guidelines are set up in a way to find the right balance between visual quality and playback quality, where both the broadcaster and the viewer can benefit from both, right? So that's perfect. What this means is that this is what like all streamers, they have to account for people who have the most amazing PC and then the guy that's like running off of Taco Bell, right? So together, right? All of that into one area. This is where all the people, 90% of people should be at. So now we covered that. We're gonna scroll down. That tells you a lot of cool facts. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I know you guys can, you can go there if you wanna read it. We're just gonna go down to my favorite part here where it tells you the nitty gritty right off the bat. It says, this is your NVIDIA specs, your 264 specs, this is it. I have an NVIDIA card, so I just pay attention to this left side the most. And what we can do, maybe I can like enlarge it for you a little bit here. Oh, also what's really cool is it has like the Twitch support Twitter or Exeter. What I don't know what you call it these days, but it's right here. You got the support channel. You can kind of see like what's going on without actually logging in. It's a really cool widget that they have there. Anyways, some of the facts of what you're looking at right here. So if you are streaming at 1080 at 60 frames per second, this is exactly what they say you should do. And if you don't know what to do, this is a great starting point for you to get your stream like a good baseline, okay? This is where you need a baseline. You need to stream for maybe a week, and I'm gonna show you guys how to look at that week and then say like, oh yeah, that's good, or maybe I can tweak it here and there. So your resolution, and this is in your OBS settings, we'll look at that a little later. 1920 by 1080, that's pretty the standard. Bitrate 6000, I would go ahead and keep it there. CBR, that's just the standard. 60 to 50 frames, no, 60. Always keep it 60 or 30. We'll talk about 30 in a second. Don't ever try to do something that doesn't computate very well, because this is a computer and it's doing algorithms, functions in the background. And if it doesn't like divide evenly, then it just takes more computation power and it could actually create a lag in your CPU and GPU. So 30, 60, something like that. Preset quality 2, B-frames 2. B-frames is something that really, it's like, how many frames ahead do you want OBS to look at to then just start generating so that it can do a better job of generating when it gets to that point, if that makes sense. So you don't want it to be too much, and if you have it 0, then there might be a little bit of smudging and blurring, and you don't really want that. So I think 2 is like the perfect standard. Unless you're really hurting on GPU power, then maybe bring it down to 1 and then try that for a while, and if not, then 0. But I think 0 is going to be a little bit actually less quality than what you want, and I would try to downgrade something else before downgrading your B-frames. Actually, to segue into it, what I would do first is drop yourself from 60 frames per second down to 30 frames per second. Now, a lot of people are like, oh no, you have to have 60 frames per second. That's not true. What you need, who needs 60 frames per second is the gamer, right? The gamer will feel those frames, you know, only with like a high-paced game like Warzone, you know, I play that. And you can feel it when you're turning, you're shooting, you're trying to like manipulate someone by running in and out of a building or a window. You will feel those frames if you're playing 30 frames per second. There's a little bit of input lag there, you could say. But the viewer, they're just watching. They don't need 60 frames per second. 30 frames is amazing. That's good enough, right? Again, don't do 25, 30. 20, 30, 60, like that. Don't do anything that's harder to math. If you drop it down to 720 to 60 frames per second, you're also, you know, alleviating a lot of computation power, letting your PC kind of breathe a little bit. This is great for mobile, right? So if you have a large mobile audience, then do them a favor and stream at 720 by 60 frames per second, or even 720 by 30 frames per second. Your mobile viewers will love you for it. It's really hard for a mobile device off of a cell phone tower, not Wi-Fi, but cell phone tower, trying to download 1080p 60 frames per second, right? They're gonna get a lot of lag. They're gonna think like your stream is laggy, but really it's a cell phone tower, and the speed might not be up to par. And that's just depending on how good of service do they have. Are they right next to the tower? Do they have full bars? Do they have one bar? Like whatever they're working on, it's going to be a little bit pricey. And if you're not, if you're just an affiliate and not a partner, then they're not going to have that quality control where they can drop it down to 420 or whatever, you know, quality that they want to drop it to make it easier to hear. They might be able to do audio only so they could just hear you. But you know, you don't want that for your viewers, and they don't want that either. They want to see and hear everything that's going on. So if you have a high base mobile platform users, 720, 60. If you have a huge desktop viewership or console even, 1080, 60, 30. I would do 30. That's weird when I highlight that, it disappears. But 1080, 30, I think is your sweet spot. Now, the next thing that you can do that will help you before you go live is you're gonna make these adjustments and you're not gonna know if they really work, right? And you don't wanna go live just to find out that you've set your stuff too high and it's all stuttery and it's ugly and people will be like, what is this mess? I'm not coming back. So what you need to do is, let me go ahead and show you guys my OBS. We are live recording, but what we're gonna do is go to settings, and inside here, right? This is the money. You're gonna go to, here it is, stream tab, and right here, right, it says enable bandwidth test mode. This is money. What this is exactly is when you click it, right? I could click right here, and then you go and hit start stream. It's gonna warn you and be like, oh, if you do this, I mean, I guess I could actually do it and show you. Look, it says you have OBS configured in bandwidth test mode. This mode allows you the network testing, okay? So do you want to continue? And you'll be like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it, but while it's live, and well, it's live, but it's not telling your viewers you're live, and it's not telling Twitch to broadcast it, so no one's gonna see it. It's gonna be like you're just here at home by yourself, and you can practice, you know, do whatever you need to do, whatever video game that is hard computation wise on your GPU and your CPU, get that as max as you can, put the quality of the game up as high as you want. And while that's going, you can go to your stats menu. So I'm getting, look at FPS is low, skip frames due to encoding lag, rendering lag. And if you're like, well, what's the difference there? So let me tell you, if you are having a rendering lag issue, then that means your GPU is struggling. Like whatever games you're playing, the quality is too high, and you might have to go in the game and lower the quality of the game. If you're having encoding lag, that means your CPU is struggling, not really your graphics card. And you need to find a way by like going into Task Manager, pulling this up, and then being like, whoa, what's going on? What's all this stuff you got? If you make a change, go ahead and hit this reset button. Look, it just sets everything back to 0, and then you can see, okay, so from this point on, how's my encoding lag? How's my rendering lag? While you're doing your fake live, what you're gonna wanna do is record. So I'm recording right now. OBS is also creating a log file, and that log file is getting saved. Just go to Help tab, go to the log file, and click Upload Current Log File. So we're gonna do that. You just hit Analyze, and when it goes to Analyze, boom, it just instantly pops up, and you scroll down, and here it tells you all the things that you might have problems with, right? So I have a critical here, and that's that I'm recording with MP4 or MOV format. And then you're like, okay, so what, is that a bad thing? Well, what you can do is you click on that, and then it tells you about that. And then this goes for whatever issues that you might be having. I just have this one issue, but some people could do this and have 7 things. And it tells you right here, hey, record in MKV, because if you record an MP4, you know, if the recording is interrupted, then the file will be corrupt and unrecoverable. So if you blah, 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 right? It's just basically giving you tips and tricks from itself, saying, hey, this is what you need to do to possibly be better. And then of course it's telling me like, okay, this is this info. It's not really good. It's not really bad. But you can click on it too and be like, okay, I have an encoding overload issue. The encoding, it tells you the encoder has skipped frames because your GPU is overloaded. Read about how to fix your GPU issues right here. So you can click on that, and then you can just keep going and just keep fixing all of your own problems. This is one really good way that is built into OBS that lets you fix your own problems and you don't have to worry about it. All right, so that's basically everything you can do before you go live. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna talk about all the things you can do while you're live, which is actually pretty much the same. Go to your status tab is this. Like, okay, we have a problem. How are my frames per second? So I have mine set to 30 and they're sitting at 30, so that's looking good. But it's the rendering lag and the encoding lag that's an issue. And I know what the problem is with me is I've got a lot of Internet Explorer windows open, and I probably should have cleaned that up before I started recording, but here we are. No big deal. Kind of cool that I'm having it as I'm recording so you guys can see, you know, what it looks like. Another thing that you might be able to do is open up like your task manager, obviously, and see like, okay, if my CPU is hurting, if my GPU is hurting, what is it that's running my OBS thing? If you're having problems, go ahead and drop it down in the comment like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. What are some things that you think that I can do to make it better? I can't go over everything, or this video would be extremely too long. I'm trying to make it as quick as possible. We're already like running into like, I don't know, 15 minutes. Something else that I like to do, my microphone doesn't work and you can't hear me. And I just keep talking and talking. There's people in chat and they're like, oh, you're muted. But I'm just like kind of focused on that moment and wanting to get what I have in my head out. I have this cool little visual bar, as you can see, when I talk, it rises up, right? And so I know instantly that when I'm talking and I see that you guys can hear me, right? So as long as you can hear me, that'll show, and as long as that's showing, you can hear me. And I'm like, I always know that I'm not muted. That I don't know if that's a problem with anyone else. If it is, let me know. But that has like kind of a big problem with me forever and always, where like I'm muted and I'm not unmuted, or I forgot to mute myself, or you know, I needed to sneeze, so I mute myself and I forget when I'm done sneezing, which I don't know, it feels like 1 second. But anyways, now let's talk about things that you can do when you're done streaming. This is kind of crucial. Hey, I'm so sorry. Future captain here, past captain, completely forgot about this like little thing that you can do while you're live, and there's not a whole lot of things you can do while you're live, so I had to make sure that I came back to tell you guys this. Okay, so if you want to watch like your bitrate, your active bitrate while you're recording, it's real easy. Just go to your channel on your PC, right? So I'm going to show you right now. Boom. All right, so you go to your Twitch site, and while you're here, you're going to click on your profile picture in the top right. And then you're gonna click Creator Dashboard. When that loads, you need to go all the way to the left side now and hit on Stream Manager, right? First you're right, now you're left. And this, you gotta do all kinds of cool stuff here, not just dealing with quality, but like you can like add buttons. You click on that button and you have all these, just tons and tons of quick action buttons you can do. You can even start shield mode, which might be really cool. Just have a one button in case you're getting hate rated or something, and it turns all the, your defenses on. Or you can do like a 30-second ad up to 130-second ad. I think you can even do 3-minute. Yeah, 3-minute ads right here, snooze ads. There's just literally, you can do all kinds of stuff here. So I just scan through it and see what you like and add it, right? But my main purpose of the video is trying to help you guys with the quality content. So what I want you to do is go all the way to the top, right? And there's bit rates right there. Obviously I'm offline right now. But when you are live, it'll say like 5,000, whatever, 6,000, whatever, and then you can know actively if it's fluctuating a lot, then that means you have a poor internet connection or you're having burst packets. There's all kinds of reasons why that, but normally it's just you're having a bad network connection, and that can help you troubleshoot your own problems. Know if it's you, your machine, the game, Twitch, whatever. All right. So sorry for the interruption. Let's go back to past captain. Thanks for listening. Bye. Now, when you're done streaming, this is something that's very important. Let's go ahead and go to Inspector Twitch TV, right? This is huge. All right. So here we are on inspector.twitch TV, and this actually has your whole stream set up and the bitrate on what it was doing and how it was sending to Twitch while you were live. And you can see here, my OBS is set to 6,000, but based off your internet speed, based off of the data you're trying to push through Twitch and everything, it can go up, it can go down, it fluctuates. And you can see that underneath that, the bitrate max was 7.5 and the minimum was 4.2. So depending on how much it transitions back and forth, my average was 5.8. So I feel like because my average is 5.8, I should just keep it at 6. 6 seems to be doing me pretty good. But okay, now that we've talked about all the things that you can do before you're live, while you're live, and then after you've gone live, these are all the cool stuff that you can do to help you become more engaging. You can figure out how to tweak in your own stream to help you be a little bit better, a little bit more professional. So I appreciate you guys hanging out here in Captain's Quarters, and I hope that you've learned a little bit here today. If you wanted me to dive a little bit more into something, or you have a little questions you want to ask, go ahead and put those questions down below, and I'll answer you as soon as I see it. Thank you, and have a wonderful sail.